From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darrell W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, January 31st, 2015. Silver is trading at $17.25 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,284 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $230. Antiwar.com reports on Friday, Israel announced it is offering tenders for another 450 new settlement units in the occupied West Bank, spanning several neighborhoods in occupied East Jerusalem as well as sites near Hebron. It's the first major settlement plan to go public since the elections were scheduled, and watchdog Peace Now was extremely critical, accusing Netanyahu of a pre-election grab. Settler voters are often sought after by right-wing parties, and Netanyahu may be trying to emphasize his policy of dramatic expansion at the expense of major diplomatic harm ahead of the vote. The U.S. again criticized the planned expansion, warning it will inflame tensions and harm the peace process. There's been no sign, despite repeated U.S. complaints, that Netanyahu intends to slow the expansion anytime soon. For over 35 years, Roberts & Roberts has been a trusted source for buying and selling your investment-grade precious metals. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and permanently removed the minimum purchase order for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on investing and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 850-478-5270 or online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports heading for an expected Saturday morning landing in Baja, Mexico. Two balloonists crossing the Pacific have made history by traveling farther and longer in a gas balloon than anyone else ever. The pilots of the helium-filled Two Eagles eclipsed the distance record of more than 5,209 miles on Thursday afternoon and the duration record of more than 137 hours Friday morning. The old distance record was set in 1981 by the Double Eagle 5 on the only other trans-Pacific balloon crossing. The previous duration record came in the historic 1978 transatlantic crossing by Double Eagle 2. The Two Eagles website takes care to note that the records remain unofficial until validated by the U.S. National Aeronautics Association and the International Airsport Governing Body. At 6 p.m. Pacific Time Friday, the balloon was moving south of Baja, California at 17,200 feet, traveling at 45 miles per hour. Touchdown is expected for 8 a.m. Pacific Time on Saturday. When their historic voyage ends, likely on a beach along the southern end of the peninsula, the pair will have traveled over 6,800 miles since taking off Sunday from Saga, Japan. The balloonists plan a little show for the cameras on their approach. They'll skim the ocean surface, trailing thick ropes to slow them down. Then they'll rise and land among the dunes in what is known as a splash and dance. A chase team was headed for the projected landing site Friday to record the arrival and help secure the balloon. However, the south of the border finale is far from the original flight plan and landing spot. The Two Eagles had expected to take a northern route into British Columbia, crossing the Canadian Rockies and then dropping down into the United States, perhaps landing somewhere in the eastern U.S. ExpressCoin is the best choice for buying Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin, and more. Get your cryptocurrencies with money order, check, wire transfer, or cash deposit. Get started at expresscoin.fppradio.com. UPI reports Ohio has postponed the executions of 7 death row inmates so it can procure an adequate supply of its new 2-drug lethal injection protocol. U.S. District Judge Gregory L. Frost ordered the stay of all executions scheduled to take place in 2015 after the state changed the drugs it uses in executions. The change came after it took an extended amount of time for Dennis McGuire to die by lethal injection in 2014. The state used a new combination of drugs for his execution, midazolam and hydromorphone. The state began using that drug combination after the European Union voted in 2011 to prohibit the sale of pentobarbital for use in executions. McGuire was gasping and choking during his 25-minute execution. It should have taken about 10 minutes. The Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction said it needs extra time to secure a supply of a new 2-drug cocktail before it can carry out any more executions. Executions for 2016 are still scheduled as planned. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.